everybody. All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to simplify rational expressions. All right, let's look at this first example. Before I even get started, the first thing I'm going to do is identify which factoring method I'm doing for the numerator and my denominator. In my numerator, I'm going to do GCF. In my denominator, I'm going to do bottoms up. All right, so now I'm going to separate my numerator and my denominator and then put it back together after I finish factoring them. So my numerator is x squared plus 3x, and I'm doing GCF factoring. So I'm going to ask myself, what's the GCF between the imaginary 1 in front of x squared and 3? It's going to be 1. And the smallest variable between x squared and x is x. So therefore, my GCF is going to be 1x. Now I'm going to divide each one by my GCF. And the imaginary ones that are in front of the x squared and the x, when I divide them, it gives me 1. And then I subtract my exponents. 2 minus 1 gives me 1. So it would just be 1x. And then 3x divided by 1x just gives me 3 because my x's will divide out. So now I've done factoring my numerator. Let me go ahead and factor my denominator, as we just said previously. To factor my denominator, I'm going to use the bottoms up method. So I'm going to multiply my a times c, which gives me negative 12. And then I'm going to do find two numbers that work. Find two numbers that work. So the two numbers that multiply and give me negative 12, but when I add them, they equal the middle number, which is negative 1, will be negative 4 and 3. So I'll go ahead and write them out in factored form, x minus 4 and x plus 3. And then divide by whatever my a is. My a is that imaginary 1 right here, so I'm dividing both of these by 1. Doesn't change anything, so I don't have to do bottoms up. So I'll have x minus 4 and x plus 3. So now that I have factored out my numerator and my denominator, I'll put them back together. So in the numerator will be x times x plus 3. My denominator will be x minus 4 times x plus 3. Now that my denominator is already factored, I can find my excluded values. My first excluded value from this x minus 4 will be a positive 4. You just take the opposite. Or set it equal to 0 and solve for x. So I know that x cannot equal positive 4. And then from here, x cannot equal negative 3. Now let me actually simplify my rational expression. I'm going to ask myself, do I see any common factors in my numerator and denominator? Yep, I have the x plus 3 in the numerator as well as the denominator, so they will divide out. And that leaves me with x over x minus 4. And that's it.